Hey guys, so we're here today. I'm going to be working on this aquarium back here. I've already got the lid off of it and the plants out of it that I'm going to plant. Kind of got to speed up a little bit. I think I've left them out here for a little too long. They might be drying. But our selection today is an Anubias spartelli mother pot. As you can see, it's like gigantic. It looks awesome. And I also have another little guy, a little Anubias caufolia. He's doing pretty good. It's one of my favorite Anubiases. I have like a little soft spot for him because I had one when I originally had like my first tank. So this is the second one. Granted, they all fell on me. I've restarted. It's fine. I don't mind. But this is a cryptocorn par. I'm gonna have to go grab my list to remember all these. I don't remember exactly what all these plants I've ordered are. But this one here is a crypt or cryptocorin, as some of you may not know. And then this is also a cryptocorin lucin, or lutea. And just a very long, slender, kind of small little guy that'll fit right up here, nice in front. And I also have a bulb of crinum. It's a very interesting crinum. I've never had this species before. I've had the other one that has like a crinkle, very skinny leaf. So there's that. But we'll see how it fares. I'm thinking of putting it over there in the corner, so we'll see. I know that's where some Amazon sword's gonna go eventually. So we'll just plant it up and all that. But the only thing with Anubias is, like these two here, they're Epheites. You cannot put them in the soil or like cover the ribosome where the plant grows out of because it'll make them rot. So that's your small debacle there. But they don't do too bad. Like if you have a lot of nutrients in your water like I do, because this used to have some goldfish, it's no problem at all. And the best way I've figured out how to get into these, especially if you have like roots along the bottom, like especially with this one here, like down here you have roots, is you just cut along this center spot right here, pull the bottom off, pull the top off, and then you can pull out the rock wool. Like you can take your rock wool and then pull it apart, and there's your plant. And then you just kind of rinse it off, make sure it's all clean, and call it good from there. So I will come back and show you guys what that looks like. I'm gonna hurry and prep all these plants, and then I'll show you what they look like without them being in their pots, except for the crinum. The crinum doesn't have a pot. Alright, so now that they've all been taken out of their pots and stuff like that, these are the roots of the Anubias. As you can see, it's kind of hard to tell, but there you go. Yeah, there you go. And with my lutea, it's all separate little plants. So they're all like these separate little plants in one pot. So sometimes you can have that. Like with my other cryptocorn, there are two separate ones. With the Anubias mother pot though, all separate. Each one of these is like a separate set. So, which is cool, because now I got more plants out of one pot, and I have no problem with that at all. But the thing is though, is when I put them in the tank, they're all probably going to go in the same spot, because just how I mapped it out, because I thought they were like one giant plant, but that's okay. So, I will get planting, and then I will show you guys how to plant some of them, and the end product as well. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys how to plant stuff before I started planting, so you kind of get an idea. Pick up a pair of tweezers if you got them. If you don't, it's okay. I haven't had really bad experience planting anything with my fingers. It just makes some of those hard to reach spots a lot easier. So what you're going to do is take your plant, so like around here, like around the bottom, like this bottom. You're going to take your tweezers, and you're going to put kind of down on the end, like down towards the end, and then you're going to put it into the substrate about like here for a cryptocorn. So it's good to give them a little bit of root space in your soil or your sand, whatever, but if you're using an inert soil, mine is not inert. It has a lot of nutrients in it, and it'll be very beneficial for all these plants. But if you're using an inert, you want to use something like root tabs or root feeders, stuff like that, that you can take and then put in the soil. And then over time they'll release stuff into the soil and make it full of nutrients and stuff like that as well. So with the Anubias though, you don't really have to worry about that. You just kind of put them in the water. And with the crinum, these aren't really going to be helpful because it's so big. So you can plant this with your hand. It just, however you want to do it, whatever works best for you is always what I say. Whatever works best for you. because it's your tank, it's how you're going to do it, and it's how you're going to like it. That's the important part here. So I will get planting and I will show you guys the end product. So now that they're all planted, this is what our end product looks like. It's still a bit cloudy, it's starting to clear up a little bit, but when you stir up a lot of soil when you're planting, it's just kind of what happens. But I can't really do anything about the brightness, because without the light on I get a reflection from my window, which is across the room. You know, granted, you don't really want a tank right across from your window, but if the curtains are closed all the time, I don't think there's much of a problem. But our cryptocorn lutea is here, our Amazon Bartelli, and way in the back, it's a little hard to see. This one that kind of goes up, down that way, it's hard to see with the bubbles in the way, but that's where I put the crinum. And in the back is also the other species of cryptocorn that's sitting back there kind of towards the axe rock. And the Anubias Bartelli is like right back there, kind of underneath. It's a little hard to see, but I think eventually it'll grow up and get really bushy. So it should look pretty well. Now my next steps for this tank is to get some more plants like water wisteria, Amazon sword, whatever I can pick up over time, you know. And definitely a new lid and a new light, because I think this light is definitely not going to be enough for what I want to do with this tank, because I mean, granted it's LED, it's kind of low tech, but I think I could do a little better with it, if you know what I mean. But this is what our end product is. I'm pretty happy with it so far, and it'll just keep getting more and more jungly for the goldfish that are going to end up back in here. So I'll leave you guys with the tank, so enjoy!